Okay, and we are back, everybody. This is Artemis talking to you right now, and I'm also joined by boozewizard for co-commentary here. And I think we're just about ready to get going. But yeah, we'll do introductions again here since we jumped the gun a little bit earlier. But yeah, I'm Artemis, and boozewizard is my co-commentary. How are you today, Moon?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Doing great, doing great. We definitely have audio working now. I can hear Jay flipping through his menus, so I think we got things working again. So that's good. And we should be starting here shortly once everybody's ready to go. And it looks like actually we are off, so I was a little bit behind there. I was looking at the wrong screen. So we're good now. And yeah, everybody, welcome to Jets of Time Tournament, Chrono Trigger Randomizer Tournament. It is this is a loser bracket match between Jaychalke and boozewizard. We're just getting rolling here with a start. Looks like the starting characters for our runners today are going to be Luca and Chrono.
Yeah, so in Jets of Time Randomizer, we start with 2 random characters in the Millennial Fair, and we have access to the Epoch, to 600 ND, and 1000 AD.
Yep, so initially we're going to see the runners run around, do some few basic checks, probably check a few shops looking for shelters, looking for mid-tonics, ethers, that sort of thing. And there's a couple early key item checks that you can do as well right from the start. So we're going to be seeing our runners run around and get those checks knocked out. Jaychalke opting for the forest runes here to get a couple quick, easy pieces of equipment.
Yeah, also in this starting period, they will be adjusting battle speed, so to make the battles go faster, they will be looking for those consumables, which are very important, like shelters, mid-tonics, ethers, revives, and also heals to remove status effects. Those will be very important later on in the run.
Yep, and Jaychalke is going to do a quick fight here in the Medina village. This is just an early little battle you can do. A lot of runners will opt to take these early fights to get some early experience and unlock some techs for their starting characters.
Yeah, there are a lot of possibilities for initial fights. You can start with this one in Medina village. There's also a fight you can get in the market there in Medina, which gives about 5 levels and few tech points. Also to start, you can go to Guardia Forest in 600 AD to get a couple of fights there. You can even go to Denadoro Mountains to get the first fight in Denadoro Mountains. So there are a lot of options for the runners to get those first levels and the initial techs.
Yep, and some runners will skip those fights altogether. I know myself personally, I usually just go straight to the cathedral to start out, but a lot of people do prefer to get the levels early. So, you know, it all just comes down to personal preference. There's an argument to be made for both there, and yeah, the early levels are nice though. They definitely get you some techs early, as we're going to see Jay here gain quite a few levels initially off this first fight here.
Yeah, so in Jets of Time you need 5 tech points at least for all characters except Magus. You need 5 tech points to get your first tech and additional 10 tech points to get the second one. So if you manage to get a very good AoE magic such as Water 2, Fire 2, Flare, Ice 2, even Lightning 2 and Shock for Robo, you can clear the screen. It's going to be faster for the following fights.
Yep, and that's something we didn't really talk about yet. The techs are all randomized with the flag set that we're using for the randomizer. So the order in which they gain their techs are going to be randomized. However, they still gain the same techs that they would have for that character. So you won't see like Chrono learning Flare or something like that. But Chrono could learn Luminaire as his first tech, for example. So that's how the way that they're shuffled around. They still the tech point requirements are still going to be scaled to where they are in the level. So the first tech doesn't take many tech points to require, like Moon mentioned, but then as you go down the tree, they take more and more tech points to unlock.
Yeah, we see now Jaychalke he got the gate key. The gate key is a really important key item very early on, and we also see that the snail shop has a pendant to sell, so they now can access 2 extra areas in the game. The gate key opens up prehistory, 65 million BC, and the pendant enables them to reach the future by doing the prison quest in 1000 AD.
I missed it. Did Jay pick up the pendant? Yeah, I think he did because he has way less money.
Oh, yeah, possibly, yeah.
I'm gonna mark it for now. I think he picked it up, but correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, if you saw it or not, because I happened to blink at just that moment and didn't see if he bought it.
I'll double check using his stream.
Actually, I know what I can do.
Yeah, so here I have both the pendant and the gate key.
Okay, cool. All right, and yeah, Jay's also just buying up some shop items here from the looks like tonic and mid tonics available here at the one of the shops in the Millennial Fair. There are actually 3, I think. Yeah, 3 shops in the Millennial Fair that are all shuffled around. So there's a good opportunity here if you take a moment to go visit it to maybe get some early gear and also get your necessary healing items and things like that. But they may not be there. It just depends on how the shuffling works out.
Yeah, at least in Millennial Fair, you have a very special shop, which is Melchior, and he has guaranteed very good starting weapons. They are kind of expensive for the amount of money you start with, but it's also an option to go there and buy starting weapons for your characters. And also he has shelters and revives guaranteed, so you don't have to worry about if you don't find shelters or revives. So you can just go to Melchior and buy some of them there.
Okay, and Jay's talking to the soldier here at the Xenon Bridge. This is just an early preparation for a later check. It'll save you another trip down here to the bridge. And then we're going to see him dip into the cathedral first here and get started on our first dungeon. We'll also get our 3rd character here and see who that gets to be.
I do think we're having problems with Boo's stream right now.
Yeah, I think Boo's stream cut out for us. We'll see if we can get that back for you as soon as possible.
Yeah, so meanwhile, let's talk about Jets of Time. So it's an open world randomizer where character pickups are randomized. Also, loot you get from treasure chests, enemy drops, and all key item locations are randomized. The order that you learn your techniques for your different characters, they are all randomized. And there are a total of 15 checks for key items that we can get through the game. So there are 3 possible goal modes that we are aiming here. So one of them is going through the Magus Castle and using the Ruby Knife to reach the Ocean Palace and get into Lavos. For that, we need the Bent Hilt and the Bent Sword, and also the Ruby Knife. So we force the Master Moon with both of the pieces of the sword to access Magus Castle, beat it to unlock Dark Ages, and then reach Ocean Palace. So that's one of the possible goal modes. Usually, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, you could also reach Dark Ages through the prehistory portal by going through Black Tyranno and the Tyranno Lair, but that requires you to have the gate key and the Dreamstone.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's the second way. That's the most common way that we have our goal mode. So having the gate key, the Dreamstone, and the Ruby Knife. So you can go to Tyranno Lair, beat Tyranno, and then you reach Dark Ages as Artemis said.
And Jay is joined by Robo, so the Robo will be the first party member to join us outside of our initial 2. This is actually not a bad party setup just on its own. Chrono with Chrono, Robo, and Luca here. This might be the party that Jay ends up sticking with for the rest of the game. And I think someone saw earlier too that that Luca got Flare early. I didn't see it, but if she did, that's incredible. Like Flare is so good in this game.
Yeah, Flare is. I mean, if you have Luca and you have Flare, you can just nuke almost all the bosses in the game like really fast. So having an early Flare for Luca there, it's really amazing. It does require 20 MP to cast, so yeah, you have to consider that.
And we're just seeing Jay move through the cathedral here. A lot of early fights that you could take here if you so choose, or you don't have to if you've taken other fights elsewhere. So we'll probably see Jay do some skips and also, you know, take some fights where he's able. And it looks like we're joined again by boozewizard's stream. And it looks like they're both in the same room. So Booz made up some time on Jay at some point, and everybody's together now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both runners opted to go for the bromide here, which triggers this fight against the three. What are they called again? Thugs? I can't remember what their actual name is.
Yeah, neither can I. And just to finish about the go modes that I was talking about, we also have an option to go through Black Omen. So for that, we have to acquire the pendant. So that unlocks the future. And we also have to get the Chrono Trigger and the clone. So with those 3 key items, we can go and unlock the Black Omen by climbing the Death Peak. So that's another option for them. When we reach the ending of the Black Omen, we can battle ZO2 and then end the game. So that's also an option for them.
So Booz opted to skip the right side of the cathedral here. There are some items you can get over here on the right. So Jay is going over to the right, taking this simple fight here that is pretty quick for some levels, and is going to get the items over in the Magus statue chamber. Booz, however, just opted to go straight north and is going to go try to just rush to the fight with Yakra.
Yeah, for Cathedral, we have just a very few different routings that some runners opt to skip the right side of Cathedral, so that's actually faster, but you skip like 4 extra chests.
4 items in here, yeah, and they can be pretty good ones too. Rage Band, like right there, is probably made the check worth it.
Yeah, so there's this trade-off that you have to consider. The extra time, is the extra time to go to the right side of Cathedral worth it? Yeah, so we have to consider that.
You do have this required fight is one of the main downsides.
you can't avoid that one. You can skip that one. So you have to consider that. There is an option also that some runners choose to, that actually skipping Cathedral, like at all, because you don't actually get a key item from Cathedral, you just unlock a new character. So if you don't actually need or don't want to get the extra character, you can skip Cathedral, but there are some characters that are required for several quests and checks. So Robo unlocks the desert, the Sunken Desert check, and also Marl unlocks the Prism Shard and the Moonstone check. So you have to consider that when deciding if you decide to skip Cathedral.
Yep, yeah, having those characters can be very important, because the one thing about Chrono Trigger Randomizer and with Jets of Time specifically is that there isn't a ton of key items. So there are enough that are quote unquote dead ends that you have an interesting randomizer, but there's also quite a few that end up being required. So you run the risk, if you skip too many of the key item checks and things like that, of putting yourself in a situation where you have to go back and get something later that you skipped because it may be required, especially early on in a seed.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of different pathing and routing decisions that we have to make, and some of them will be like a gamble that you choose to get, and you gamble. That's it. It will or will not pay off. So have to consider all that. So yeah.
Booz is leaving the cathedral here. He had just finished off Yakra and opting to leave the Chancellor behind.
Yeah, that chest on the top left is actually the Chancellor, so you don't actually need to get it because he will somehow escape freely.
Yeah, well, as soon as you leave, he'll come out either way. Yeah, and Jay's just gonna try to dodge most of these fights in the back of the cathedral here, and just finish up this dungeon real quick. He took a few more fights than Booz did in the lower part of the cathedral, and I think most of that was because he didn't do as much of the farming outside of the cathedral as boozewizard did.
And we see now Booz unlocking the fourth character, which is Frog, and he decided not to include Frog in his party for now. So,
I like that call. I think Robo's probably better than Frog in the randomizer typically. Frog can be very useful depending on his moveset and when you get him. And especially if he has his AoE heal. His AoE heal can be very nice. But Robo also has an AoE heal, so yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages of using every single character. Like for example, if Frog has a technique called Frog Squash, it can actually be a very good dual attack with Lucas Flare, which enables Frog Flare, and you can even have even more damage from both of them. So I don't know if he checked Frog's technique so far. If he starts with Water 2, it's also a really good technique because that's an water-based attack, so he can choose to go and clear the fights in the desert because they are all vulnerable to water. So that could be an option also, but it will all depend how the techniques get rolled out for Frog.
Yeah, and Water 2, if Frog does have that, like Boone said, is very useful in that desert area, and you almost don't want to go into that area if you don't have the water or ice spell of some sort, because a lot of the enemies in there can be very tricky if you don't have a quick way to kill them off with their weaknesses, especially if you go in there underleveled.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go there without any kind of water spell. I mean, if you have Frog, he may have water or Water 2, Maul with Ice or Ice 2, and Magus with Ice 2. So because they are all vulnerable to that kind of water, ice-based attacks, really important to have at least one of them. And also to fight the boss, to fight Red Knight, you don't actually need, but it's good to have a water-based spell to reduce his defense. You can beat him without any kind of water attack, but your characters will miss a lot of attacks and might take quite a while to beat him. So.
Also worth mentioning, the key item that that boozewizard found on the when he talked to the chef and triggered this Xenon Bridge fight, you get a key item, and the key item he got there, I believe, was Thomas Pop.
Yes, Thomas Pop.
Yep. Okay, so the Thomas Pop allows you access to I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's the rehash of the Black Tyranno lair that's in
Giant's
680.
Claw. The Giant's Claw dungeon.
That's it.
Yeah, so to activate this quest, you must go to the West Cape in 1000 AD, which is the south of Medina Village. Head to the grave, where you have you just activate the grave, and Thomas will pop out, and Thomas' ghost will pop out, and he will say that he discovered the location of Giant's Claw, and you'll be able to access that dungeon in 600 AD. It's a very quick dungeon to clear, and you can even go there at lower levels if you have enough DPS to kill the Rust Tyranno. He's not that strong.
Yeah, Rust Tyranno's not too bad. He's just risky because if he gets his attack off, he will probably wipe you at low levels.
Yeah, personally, I don't remember getting his attack, so I actually don't know how much damage that does. So usually we go there, we can we go there. When we go there, we can kill him. And
it hurts quite a bit if he gets it off.
Yeah, really? Oh, that's bad.
Jaychalke basically one-hitting Yakra there. He got a couple attacks off, but yeah, Yakra went down really quick because Jaychalke took a little bit of extra time to farm levels in the cathedral, and we'll be catching up to Booze pretty quickly here because he's going to get teleported over to the castle, get his second or his fourth character, and we'll probably do the Xenon Bridge check right after that. So we'll see Jay just kind of right on boozewizard's heels here. And Booze did trigger a Doom 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 from Zombor, which made him take a few turns to have to heal his party, because Zombor can be quite scary if he gets that attack off.
Yeah, usually Zombor, we want to aim for the head first, because if you kill the head first, then you are actually not going to get the Doom Doom attack. It's going to be quite rare. So if you manage to kill the bottom first, the chances of getting the Doom Doom attack will be higher, and that's a very strong AoE, so you might want to avoid that at all costs, because that may be a party wipe.
Yeah, I think the reason he killed the bottom first is, and I think we'll see Jay do the same thing, is because they have Flare, and Flare will wipe out the bottom really quickly, but then you get stuck into fighting the top half with its nasty counterattacks.
I mean, it's a strategy. Also, they could wait to cast the flare so that they can kill the head first, but let's see how they decide to
Luca with 1 HP.
do that strategy. Wow. And the top, actually, they both have 2 elemental absorptions, so the top will absorb fire and lightning, and the bottom will absorb shadow and water. So you can use flare to kill the bottom, you can use lightning to kill the bottom, or you can use ice to kill the top, and shadow to kill the top.
Okay, and Jay's about to get his Thomas Pop here, and then he'll be joining Booze on Xenon Bridge, just as Booze finishes off Zombor here. So
yes, whenever the top gets killed, he will cast the MP Buster, and it will drain all MP for a single character, whoever killed the top. So that's it. The Xenon Bridge is clear for boozewizard.
We'll probably see Booze move on to Denadoro Mountains here. It's usually the pretty standard route for most runners. And that'll be where we'll probably see both these runners go to fight Masamune at the top, get another key item, and some runners will opt to spend a little bit more time in there to get all the chests and stuff. There are some decent chests in Denadoro, but some runners will skip that. So we'll see what our runners choose to do in that regard.
Yeah, right now they have several tracks open for them. They have Denadoro Mountains. They also have Hecarim Cave, which is available at 1000 AD, and they also have the desert, because as Robo is available, that track is also unlocked. So let's see how they're going to route this.
I just saw too on Jay's side, Ozzy has dropped a moon armor from his on Xenon Bridge, so that's incredible. That's some of the best armor in the game right there.
Yeah, exactly. That is a very good armor, very early on.
Yeah, that'll come in very handy for not wiping.
For sure. For sure.
I think the only armor in raw defense that's better than the moon armor is the Prism Dress and the Nova armor.
And the Nova armor, yeah. I think, those two. Yeah, those are the best armors in the game.
Yep.
Also, Ruby armor is very good, but I'm not sure if it's better than Moon armor though.
Oh, he got 2 Moon armors too, because both forms of Ozzy dropped it.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's incredible. That's wow. Okay, Booze is picking up the tools here, which is going to be his gate key. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that early. And yeah, so that was another thing he did not do that Jay did. So that when we're talking about like who's ahead in these races, it's always kind of tough to tell, because a lot of runners will skip one little thing or another and then have to go back for it a little bit later. Jay now is starting the Zombor fight that we just saw Booze finish about maybe 3 minutes ago. So, and Booze is jumping directly into prehistory with that gate key.
Yeah. I mean, when you have the gate key very early on, actually there's an option. You can opt to route in the deck to nest and reach for another character there. And even if you go there very early on, the character at deck to nest will always start at least at level 15. So that's also an option to go there and get the extra character.
You know what he's doing? He ducked in there to grab that item, and then he's going to bounce out and get magic here. Because this particular portal in Jets of Time will take you to the end of time when you jump in it. So he's going to go there and unlock magic for Luca and Chrono, which is a pretty good call, I think, at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are 2 possible ways to unlock magic. Chrono, Mar, Luca, and Frog, they require you to visit Specule to unlock their 4th technique and so on, and in the following techniques. There are 2 possible ways. One of those, which is the fastest, is going through the portal using the gate key. And the other way, which is slower, takes more time, is clearing the factory in the future and then using the portal in Protodome. So that actually takes about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on your techniques, if you have lightning or not. So we usually want to avoid that because that's slower. So having the gate key very early on is good.
And we didn't talk about it, but when we talked about techs early on, how they're shuffled across the characters. So the characters can learn their various techs in any order. However, the characters that normally would need to learn magic in order to unlock their magic spells, which is basically everybody except for Robo, Magus, and Ayla. All the other characters will need to go here and get their magic unlocked in order to get every tech beyond their 3rd.
Yeah, Taco Hero there saying on chat that actually this is a very important information, that you can also reach the end of time after you clear Mega's Castle, after you reach the Dark Ages, after you go through Tyrannal Lair. I mean, not Tyrannal Lair, because then you have access to the portal at the prehistory. But if you don't have access to magic and you have access to Mega's Castle, you can clear Mega's Castle and go to the Dark Ages and then use the portal that you unlocked after you clear Mega's Castle in the Dark Ages to reach end of time and unlock magic. Usually when we have a very fast go mode through Mega's Castle, that's the way that we are going to unlock magic.
Jay equipping all that wonderful gear he got from the bridge there, including a Vedic blade that dropped from Zombor. And Booze is meanwhile dipping into Hecarim Cave here for a pretty quick run-through check of the... he may opt to kill some of these enemies, and he may just run from these fights. Probably will just... Oh, yeah, he's going to kill some of them. He's got AoE magic, so there's some easy XP here. Yeah,
if you have AoE magic, clearing those enemies is quite interesting because you can get a lot of tech points considering how early on in the run that you face them. So it's really interesting to battle them.
Yep. So having just unlocked magic, this is a pretty good call because he's going to get some more skills unlocked for his character.
Exactly. Yeah. Usually we don't want to do Hecarim before unlocking magic because that's actually a waste of about 80 tech points or more. So it's a good call from Booze there, going to Hecarim after unlocking magic.
Yep. Jay, meanwhile, is heading up Denadoro Mountain, which I know from watching Jay play this randomizer a bit. This is usually his preferred route, so I figured this was going to be his next check, which is not a bad place. It's just right there after fighting Xenon Bridge.
Yeah, but we do have to consider that. Well, I mean, with Luca having Flare, Hecarim Cave is easier than Mass Immune. That's the point. So usually Mass Immune can get rough depending on how you battle in your strategy in the battle. So let's see how I did
notice that Jay did remember to set himself to wait and not reset it to active. So hopefully he doesn't have as much trouble with Mass Immune this time around. For those that weren't here for it, the last race that Jay took part in the tournament, he had accidentally set his battle mode to active in the menu, and didn't realize it, and then really struggled with fighting Masamune, very underleveled, with a high battle speed, because Masamune is actually a very quick opponent in this game and has a very high speed. So if you have active battle set up and it's still charging the enemy's ATB when you're in your menus, that fight can get away from you very quickly when you're underleveled.
It can. Usually we can't allow Masamune to do like a series of 2 attacks, because he'll actually just wipe almost any character with 2 attacks. So you have to always be constantly healing and managing the fight in order to avoid anyone getting hit, anyone getting going down in that fight, because it can get pretty bad really fast, especially if you're using active mode. So that's why we prefer to play on wait. It's a speed run, but wait is actually faster and safer. So
yeah, I mean, wait is probably about the same speed at a high battle speed in terms of like your actual inputs than active. If you're a TAS, you can obviously a TAS would use active, because you can do your inputs fast enough then that it wouldn't matter. But you know, we're mere mortals here, so we use wait,
yeah,
and don't torture ourselves.
And there is also the dilemma of choosing which battle speed you're going to play on. So usually there are a few runners that play on battle speed 2, some play at battle speed 1, some play at 3 or 4. I mean, usually you want to play as low as possible, but at battle speed 1, the amount of time that you have to react to enemy attacks are so low. I mean, it's so fast that usually want to avoid that. I mean, yeah, except if you are really good.
I personally consider myself a bit of a Chrono Trigger veteran, however, not a speedrunner in as much, because I only really have speedran the randomizer for this game. But even as a relative veteran to the game that really understands the mechanics and stuff, I still don't feel like the lowest I can set my battle speed to is 2. I usually play on 3 just for safety.
I see.
Yeah, and that's
I usually play on 2. I've played at 1 like once, and I mean, the amount of time that you save is, I don't think it's worth it. It's way too risky to go in very low battle speed. But some runners do play at battle speed 1 because it's faster.
It is faster, yeah. And I have done 1 and completed the game with it. It's just trickier. You got to be careful.
Now we are seeing boozewizard using flare against Hecarim. He's going to go down like really fast, because flare is just a very powerful AoE fire attack that, having unlocked that very early on, is going to make all bosses go down pretty fast.
We'll see if Jay opts to go. There's a couple chests here if you jump off the waterfall to the left of this fight that can be pretty high tier chests and drop pretty good items. So we'll see if Jay opts to go for those or just continue up the mountain if he's happy with his gear.
Yeah, the battle against Hecarim, he has a strength against physical attacks, so we don't want to hit him with any kind of physical attacks. But he will not absorb any kind of magic attacks, so we want to use magical attacks to damage him. He will attack with water-based attack. So if you have like blue vests or blue mails, you can use them to absorb his water-based attack.
Okay, so Jay did jump down the waterfall there and got a power ring for the effort, so that's not terrible. Pretty handy item, especially if you're going to be using Chrono. Chrono being a pretty, or even Robo, both of them would benefit from the power ring.
And when Hecarim goes into his defensive stance there, you have actually to wait a couple of seconds for him to remove that stance so that you can attack. If not, he's going to counter with a very powerful AoE water-based attack, which can hit quite hard. So
yeah, I was going to say it's basically water 2, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you just wait like 4 to 5 seconds and he will remove his defensive stance and you can attack him with your magical attacks.
Hecarim is down, so now Booz is going to go talk to Tabin here, and Tabin will provide us with the next key item, which is Robo's Ribbon, it looks like.
Robo's Ribbon. Let me check that. Ribbon. Yeah, so Robo's Ribbon is an equipment that you can use as an accessory for Robo. It will give you the effects of Sunshades, which is plus 25% all damage. And it will also give Side Scope, which is to show the amount of HP for each enemy that you encounter in every encounter. It will not work on bosses, obviously. So. And also it will grant a barrier, auto barrier for Robo, which reduces the amount of magical damage by 1/3.
Yeah, the ribbon is going to be very nice if we're using Robo, which I think both these runners are going to keep Robo in their party for most of this run. Oh, a Prism Helm in the
wow, and Booz got the secret area in Reptile Lair,
and it had a Prism Helm. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, to access this secret area, you actually have to wait for a very weird RNG thing where those evil weevils will start digging. And depending on the position on the screen that they start digging, you can enter this secret area. You have access to 2 extra chests with very high-end loot. So if you get that, it's very good. So good for Booz there.
Seems like we're getting a little bit of lag on Jay's side, but he's going to be starting his fight with Masamune here shortly, and hopefully he has a pretty smooth fight here with this boss that can be pretty nasty early on when you're underleveled.
Yeah, for Masa and Mune, they will always counter. If you use an AoE attack, they both will counter. If you use... Oh, that was fast. If you just attack one of those, they will attack. You can use things like Hypno Wave from Luca. You can use Provoke from Mar to make them avoid the counterattacks. But if you have enough DPS, you can just go for the kill because they have 1,000 HP only.
And we'll see if we can get the streams synced up here again in a minute. We're just running into a little bit of technical problems tonight, but hopefully we'll get that sorted out for you. Oh, now both streams have frozen.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, meanwhile, so far the runners are I mean, they are close. They don't actually have a lot of key items for their go modes, so but they do have a lot of options open for them right now. They can go to the future. In the future, they will have access to three more attacks, which is Ares Dome. When you fight the Guardian, you chase the rat, and then you talk to the guy there, and you'll get a key item. Also, you can go to do Son of Sun, which is a very quick check. But you want to go there if you have fire resistance, because that flare can hit quite hard. And also Genodome. Genodome also unlocks another key item in the future. So Booz is starting his fight against Nisbel 1. Yeah, the way this fight works, Nisbel weakness is lightning. So you must hit him with lightning if you want to damage him with physical attacks. So if you can't use any kind of lightning-based magical attack here, you won't be able to hit with physical attacks. So, I mean, at least with Luca there having flare, this battle is going to be a lot easier. So that's good for them.
Yep, and they have lightning too unlocked on Chrono, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, let's hope Lightning 2 is not on slot number 2, because there is actually a small bug there that prevents the technique on slot number 2 being considered as lightning damage. So I'm not sure.
I think it was on slot 3. I think the last I saw.
Slot 3. Okay, so that's good. That's good.
So he's fine. Yep.
He's fine. Yeah, I don't even. I think he's going all the way with flare and heals from Robo.
And from what we're seeing of Jaychalke's fight with Masa and Mune, it seems to be going much smoother than he did in his last race. So
it's done. He did it.
Oh, am I just lagged out? It's frozen for me still. Or do you have the individual runner? Or do you have the individual?
Yeah, I'm also checking his stream just to make sure.
Oh, okay. Did you happen to see what key item he got?
It was the jerky.
Okay. So
yeah, comment on the jerky.
Yeah, so the jerky is let me see if I remember correctly. The jerky lets you go back to the house in, I believe, 1000 AD. I think you have to go there 600 first.
600, yeah, 600. Yeah.
Yep, and you give the jerky to the woman in the mayor's house on the southern town, which I can't remember the name of, and
the poor mayor.
And then that makes the mayor in 1000 AD nicer, and will give you a very good not key item, but will give you a very good piece of equipment. It's a very high tier item drop that you'll be able to unlock that way.
Yeah, you can have so many good stuff from jerky. Usually, runners are kind of divided when it comes to the jerky, because it doesn't give you progression, but it may give you a very, very powerful item such as a Wonder Shot or Taban Suit or Rainbow or Prism Specs, Moon Arm or Nova Armor. Lots of good stuff you can get from the jerky. But unfortunately, it's not progression itself, so
it looks like Jay is opting to duck over to the woods here and grab the checks here, and there'll be some chests you can grab, and also you can see who the character in here will be if you happen to get the both pieces of the Masamune. And it looks like it's Magus in the woods.
Yeah, so to unlock that character there in Frog's Burrow, you actually have to get the Masamune Forge. So that's 2 key items. That's the bent sword and the bent hilt. And after getting both of those key items, you must go to Melchior to make him forge the sword. Unlike Vanilla, we don't actually need the Dreamstone in order to forge the Masamune. So only by having both pieces of the sword, you can forge the Masamune and then go unlock that character in Frog's Burrow. There is also a chest there in Frog's Burrow that we can access and open for another key item if we have the Hero Medal. So that's another key item that opens up, enables you to get that chest in Frog's Burrow. And we see Booz going to the future right now. He's activated, he started the prison quest, and he's going to the future where he'll be able to access a lot of sealed doors to get some very good loot. And also he'll be unlocking 3 extra checks. I don't think yet Booz has done Denador Mountain, so that's also a key item check that he has left. At least fortunately for him, the Denadoro was a kind of dead check because it was a jerky. So let's see how he's going to route this from now. Yeah, we're having some issues with Boo's stream.
Yeah, both streams are a little rough right now. I'm reaching out to our contact at SpeedGaming to see if we can get someone to look at the restream, see if we can get that improved for you guys.
Yeah, this sequence in the prison here, it's quite fast. You just have to make sure you can dodge and go through the shields there. I think Booth has gone through the first set of shields. If you don't manage to go in between them, you actually start a fight, which will take some time and doesn't give any kind of good techniques or tech points or good items. So that's actually bad if you don't manage to get that skip. There is a possibility here to rescue Fritz. So by saving him, you unlock a new market in 1000, and he will give you, if you have Chrono, he will give you 10 mid-eaters. So that's also an option for them. Booth decided to avoid the extra checks and just rescuing Fritz. For those guards, you can wait a little bit, and just to make sure you can knock them down.
It looks like Jay's getting magic right here now, so that's a good call with the gear he has right now. Get that magic unlocked for Luca and Chrono at least. I don't think he's going to opt to use Frog at all in this run, so I think that's why he didn't opt to put Frog in his party here.
Yeah, I mean, there's also later on, if they do get the Ocean Palace route, there is a segment there with a few fights that you can actually make use of Frog with his technique Frog Squash, because that is a very powerful AoE physical attack if Frog has low HP and can deal a lot of damage to the scouts. There are magical scouts that will counter any kind of a magical attack that it's not their element. So it's better to have at least something like Dino Tail or Frog Squash to clear the fights in the elevator much quicker. So yeah,
so we're still getting a bit of a so the reason I pinged for help there is we're still getting really bad frame rate on Jaychalke's stream, and occasionally boozewizard's streams dropping off too. But I think Booze's might be on his side. Jay's stream seems to be fine when I pull up his source on Twitch. So I'm not sure what's going on that, but hopefully we can get that resolved for you guys here soon. Oh, and Jay accidentally took a fight against Specchio here. Luckily, wiping here does not affect you. It's just slow, so he'll be able to get up and move on from this.
Yeah, usually, yeah, you have an option to opt in to battle against Specchio. If you choose yes, I mean, you can die. It's not a problem, but take some more time.
Oh, and I think we got. Okay, we've jumped ahead in time on Jay's side here. Good. I think we're getting back into. I think we're
nice. We're back.
Fixed. Yep. So Jay opted to go to prehistory right after fighting Specchio to get his magic, and is going to be doing some of the checks that we saw boozewizard do, probably in the with the Nizbel fight. I didn't see what the key item he got for that was. Did you?
From Nizbel.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, it was the ruby knife. It was the ruby knife. It was a ruby knife.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, Booz is just one item away to the go mode using the path by reaching Tyrano Lair and going through beating Tyrano, going through the Ocean Palace, because the ruby knife is the key item that you require. It's required to open the path to Ocean Palace. You don't actually need the pendant. Unlike vanilla, you don't need the pendant to open up the path to Ocean Palace. So with the ruby knife, that option is open, but he still needs the dreamstone. So he'll continue his search. Oh, there's a gold stud and an amulet. Wow, that's a good drops.
Those are really good drops. Yep.
Indeed.
I wonder if my stream's a little behind because I didn't see that until just now. Or do you have boozes pulled up locally as well still?
Yeah, I have them both up just to make sure I'm not missing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, apparently, at least for me, Jay's stream is really consistent, at least from the...
Yeah, and ignore what I said about the audio problems. That was entirely on my side, so... like Trenton said, it's just one of those nights for technical issues. But yeah, Jaychalke, meanwhile, is moving up into the... He's going to go check the character at the top of this this mountain here. I don't remember if we saw Booz check this character at all, but this will be possibly... the only character to really be that would matter... yeah, Mara would be important. Mela could be nice to have in the party, though. Yeah,
for sure. Ayla's really strong. I mean, if her triple kick technique is really, really strong. It's one of the most powerful single attacks for physical attacks in the game. And she is also really fast, so that could be a very powerful addition to the party, depending on how they decide to build it. And that gold stud item reduces the MP required to cast any kind of a spell by 75%. So as Luca has Flare, that's actually really good because Flare will just cost 5 MP. That's going to be free AoE screen wipes for them. Yeah, we see Booz starting his fight against Son of Sun. So this battle is quite gimmicky. He uses fire-based attacks. Sometimes he will cast a flare. The center will cast a flare. There are 4 possible flames that you can hit. Only one of those is the true one that will damage the center. So you have to aim for 10 hits in order to finish Son of Sun. So yeah, he just found the right one there. It's the one on the right corner, and he's going to hit it. He needs 10 hits in order to beat this boss.
And I did notice that Son of Sun decided to pop out a flare pretty early on Booz's side too. That it's pretty random when it decides to do a flare, or rather, or if it'll do a roulette shuffle or something else. But I think it did a flare as its first opening attack, which is pretty unusual. Luckily, Booz does have fire absorb armor on all 3 of his characters, so this thing is not a threat at all.
Yeah, if you do have red males or red vessels, this fight is really... It becomes really easy because you can absorb his major attack, which is this flare. If you do hit the center, he will also cast flare. There are some strategies that you can use here, like using Flame Toss from Luca to hit 2 of those, using Slash from Chrono to hit multiple flames and like try to save some time there.
Ooh, and we do have Marl at the top of the mountain here in prehistory. So that could be really important for Jay because Marl will allow some more checks to be done once we get the key items for him. So if we get the Prism Shard, Marl will be required for the King's Trial, as well as the Sunstone check if we happen to find the Moonstone and charge it up. Oh. And Marl's starting techs aren't anything too amazing. Life 2 is nice, but...
yeah, not too amazing. I mean, and they still have the option to go to desert, and none of them they have decided. Oh, but we see someone going to the desert now. Interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna get a desert check, which I think is the first we've seen this dungeon on this race tonight. So the desert is normally a pretty end game side dungeon that you can do. But it opens up in the Jets of Time randomizer very early on, and Actually, it's open for the very start of the randomizer, and you can come in here, and there's a bunch of really good chests with nice items, and also these fights are pretty good XP. But like we kind of mentioned earlier, they are a little tricky if you come in here under-leveled and don't have any like ice or water AOE spells. Jay doesn't have ice or water in his party, but I think he's just gonna try to power through it, which isn't necessarily a bad call. He's gotten a lot of levels from side fights and stuff, so if he's careful about this, he should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's also an option here that he could actually run away from this fight. All fights here are runnable, so that could be an option if he decides that the amount of time that he's spending on the fight isn't going to pay off from the experience of the tech points. There are a lot of fights, you can skip almost most of them, but at least this one fight in the middle is the one that you can't skip, so you have to, I mean, get it or run away from it.
Yep. Yeah, these enemies all have like 300, or I think the big one, these hexapods have 300, and then the little,
300 health.
The little water guys I think have what, 250 or something, but yeah, all around 300 health. Booz is meanwhile taking the fight against the Guardian here in the future. This will be another key item once he finishes this fight and goes and activates the computer.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how Jay is going to approach the fight against Red Knight, because without water magic, you can't reduce his defense. So you must have very powerful physical attacks, such as Uzi Punch or Triple Kick or Confuse, and maybe it's going to get tricky if he doesn't come in.
Yeah, sadly Flare doesn't give you the because it's immune to the elements, the boss in the desert here. So Flare won't carry him through the boss, but it will get him through all these fights outside. So maybe he's just going to get these equipment and duck out again. We'll see what he chooses to do.
Yeah, using Flare for those encounters would also be a good idea for them, because I do think it would kill all of them in one hit. So
I did notice that on Booz's side that he has Confuse on Chrono, so if Jay has that as well, I'm not sure what level he's at in comparison, but if he has Confuse, that might be enough to get through Red Knight, because Chrono's got a very good weapon equipped.
Yeah, for sure. With Confuse, it makes that battle go much faster and easier. I do see that Jay has decided to grab all the chests before fighting Red Knight and getting the encounters. Maybe he wants to level up, get a couple of levels more before the fight, because Red Knight, it can be hard. It can be a hard fight.
Yeah, and some of these chests can have pretty okay gear too. So it's probably the thought process. Oh, and he just got Confused, so wow, like we were just talking about, that's perfect timing for the upcoming fight.
Maybe I think it would be wise to go back and shelter and save, maybe.
I think that's what he's thinking about doing. He was just having a little bit of trouble with the staircase there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, usually after you spend like 3 to 4 minutes there grinding in the desert, in the sunken desert, if you're not that confident with the fight, or if you are kind of low leveled for the fight, usually we want to go back and shelter and save, just to make sure if we die to the boss, we don't lose a lot of time.
Another Prism Helm.
And another amulet. Wow. In a swallow. Wow.
Some amazing gear, and those chests are always high tier gear, but they're being especially kind today. That is some really good gear.
Oh, true. Yeah, very good gear. I mean, with amulets they cost like 50,000 gold to buy. You do have a shop with a guaranteed amulet being that sells amulet at the new shop before the Ocean Palace, but they cost 50,000 gold, and having two like in the middle game like that, it's awesome. They'll be able to spend their money on other things.
honestly, with all the prism helms that he's gotten already, I would probably just sell the amulets and use them to buy like mega elixirs or something later on.
Yeah, exactly. That's also an option. I mean, you don't actually need to use both prism helms and amulets. You can just opt for one of those. And prism helms are usually better if you don't have like a haste helm. Prism helms are usually better because then you enable the option to use another better accessory.
And I think Jay did duck out to save, or is going to right now, so it's probably a good call. And the hero medal is what Booz gets.
There's the hero medal.
Yep.
Let me mark that right now. Yeah, so as I said earlier. Okay, go on.
I was just going to say, we're still kind of looking for our go mode, hunting for the pieces to this puzzle here. The only thing really like essential to go mode that we found so far is the, well, I mean, not the only thing, but the main thing we found so far is the ruby knife, which was at, I forgot where that was, but the ruby knife is very important because that'll allow, it's one of the key items needed to access the Ocean Palace in Zeal. But we haven't really found the rest of the pieces of this puzzle yet. Could be the Masamune, the two pieces of the Masamune that we would need, or it could be something like the, we could still find the clone and the Chrono Trigger, and that might be the path we end up going. It's really kind of open still.
Yeah, the ruby knife was behind Reptite, which boozewizard did, and Jay still did not.
Okay, Jay is going and finishing off Retinite now, I think. Oh, and he is going to swap in Marl. Okay, so that'll help, because I think, does Marl have ice, though?
I think, yeah, she has ice 1.
Okay, that'll at least make it a little bit simpler.
Ooh, no, that was the clone.
The clone? Oh, on the hero medal? Yeah, I didn't see that check because of the some of the issues
because of the issues. I'm not sure. I don't think it was the clone. Yeah, so Jets of Time is a open world randomizer for Chrono Trigger, which makes character pickups random, treasure chests, enemy drops, key item locations, the order that you learn your techniques, and key items. They are all randomized. So yeah, it's a randomizer open world concept for Chrono Trigger, and it's quite fast. Usually the runs take about 2 hours to 2 hours 30 minutes. It will depend a lot on key item placement, but that's our usual runtime.
I just noticed too on Jay's side that one of the enemies in the desert here is dropping magic seals. So that's a pretty crazy drop just from a money perspective. Like even if you don't end up using it, like yeah, that's a lot of money that you can use for buying shelters and stuff, which can be very handy. And we're seeing Booz go up Denadoro Mountain right now, so he'll be getting his jerky at the top of this. He should be breezed right through this though, because of the extra leveling and stuff he did. All right, let's see how Retinite goes for Jaychalke. He's got Confuse and Water, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Just to confirm here, the Son of Sun drop was the clone. So Booz has the clone from the Son of Sun. And the burrow was tools. So he got the tools from the burrow. Okay.
Good to know. Yeah, we're kind of tough to keep up with the tracking and commentary a little bit when we're having a little bit of trouble with some of the streams here, but doing what we can for you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, good point in chat too. Jay did unlock the Triple Tech Lifeline with this party. That unlocks with, I can't remember the exact combination of techs, but I know it involves Marl's life too. And that basically casts a auto resurrect on all of your party members, which is very handy. But yeah, he didn't opt to use it here, which I think he'll be fine without it. He got the first half of Retinite down pretty quickly. Just has to get this last phase down. He did run out of tech points on Chrono, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah,
Robo's
you just need to cast.
Really,
it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to cast Ice like once, only a single time to reduce his defense, and that's enough for the fight.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more rounds for Ret Knight here should do it.
I just realized that I was the person who wrote the seed, so I do have the spoiler log, so in any case I can just look at it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Ret Knight's down. This final bit here will run away in a little bit. I don't think we'll see it. Jay might be able to kill it. Oh, he got it right before it died. Right before it ran away.
Nice. If you manage to kill the center before he runs away, you get 2,000 extra XP. So it actually enables you to get like a couple of levels in just a single boss fight, which is really good.
Yep, that was a pretty clutch kill on the middle part there, because that thing runs away very quickly after the other parts of Ret Knight die.
Luca coming back to the party, and by talking to Fiona with Robo in your party, he'll start the quest, and in 1000 AD he'll be able to get the key item from this quest. So let's see.
I have a feeling this is going to be something big, because we're kind of like running out of checks like between the two runners.
Yeah,
Booz has done more checks than Jay, but between the two runners, we've seen almost all the checks that are available at this stage, and I have a feeling that Jay's going to find something important here. If this is something like the Chrono trigger and Booz moves over here and grabs it early, that could be his go mode.
Exactly. He'll be in a very big advantage if he decides to go to the desert, because this is something big.
This shop that Jay's checking here is a good one to pop into. It is guaranteed to have lapises for sale, which if you don't have a good AoE heal like from Robo or Frog, that those can be really important for the fights later on in the game. And even if you already do have an AoE heal, they're just nice extra incentives, a little bit of insurance to have an AoE heal that heals 200 on each of your party members when you use that item. So we're seeing Jay do a little shopping here, probably just catching up on selling some of yep, there goes those magic seals, like I called it, 30,000 gold right there.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah, the problem with lapises are really good, but the problem is that they are way too expensive. I mean, getting 10,000 gold for a lapis, usually we do have access to elixirs and mega elixirs for sale later on, so maybe it's also an idea to like keep that money for now and buy some elixirs, hyper eaters, full tonics later on. But that's all. It's also a possibility to grab some lapses here.
Okay,
always a trade-off.
See what we're gonna get here as Booz finishes off Masamune here. We'll get to see what the key item is for the desert. Chrono trigger, I called it.
Yeah, you did.
So that's pretty big. So Jay has one half of his go mode. If he goes and gets the clone from Son of Sun, he'll be in a good position. But he has to still clear the prison and get into the future to do that. So he's going to go do Hecarim Cave right now, which is probably a good call. That's probably what I would do in his situation too. But yeah, he doesn't know that where his clone is. So we're gonna have to see where Booz decides to go. He doesn't have a lot of checks left, so the desert's probably on his radar. We'll see if he does it now or if he does some more checks in the future, because he could still opt to do like Genodome and stuff too.
Yeah, he could do Genodome. He could also do what else? Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of options now. That's Genodome and Desert, and He did Xenon. Oh, there is also Giant's Claw. So
Giant's Claw
an
too.
option.
Yeah. Booze is opting to turn in the jerky here. I don't think Jay did this, but we may have missed
Jay
it,
didn't. Yeah, he did not.
Yeah, we'll see what I've gotten the rainbow here many times. He's also nice little routing choice here too. He can get these chests that are unlocked through the pendant here at this point too, and gets a flea vest and a wallet. Not the best items, but that's more stuff to sell if nothing else. Flea vest can be nice though.
Yeah, usually if you can route the jerky after you go to the future, it's usually better because then you'll be able to access those sealed chests like really fast and get
Wonder
4
shot.
of those. Oh, Wonder Shot! Let's go.
There we go. Yeah, that's the best weapon for Luca.
Best weapon for Luca. Yeah.
Some may argue the best weapon in the game. Depends on how much you like RNG.
Yeah, so the way the Wonder Shot works is actually, it's kind of weird, but it has like 5 possibilities of damage. So you can get like maybe somewhere like 0.1 damage, like 1 time damage, like 2 times damage, like 5 times damage. So it's kind of tricky to use it. You have to rely on getting very good RNG for that damage roll.
I think Booze is ducking into. Yep, Booze is ducking into the desert here. So, assuming he doesn't have any problems in here, this will be once he finishes off Ret Knight. This will be his go mode. So Jay's going to have to do some catch up to try to find that clone rather quickly. So we'll see what happens here, but it's not over till it's over because there's still the final fights and dungeons to go through, and those can always sneak up on you in Jets of Time. But with Flare, that makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so again, for the Wonder Shot, it has a chance to do 1/10 damage, half damage, normal damage, 2 times damage, or 3 times damage. So those are the 5 possibilities of Wonder Shot damage. So if you get that 1/10, it's bad for you, but if you get the 3 times damage, it's better than a critical hit. So
yeah, the high roll on the Wonder Shot is incredible.
Especially if you have accessories like sunshades or prism specs, because then your damage will go much higher.
Yeah, quite literally through the roof. Don't think we've seen any sunshades or prism specs drop for anyone yet. I certainly haven't seen anyone
not yet.
them.
Yeah, depending on the seed, you don't even we don't get any.
Yep, they're not guaranteed, that's for sure. I do remember watching one. I do remember watching one seed. I don't remember if it was a race for the tournament or if it was just me watching someone play it through it, or if it was even just one of my seeds. But I remember someone getting 3 prism specs. And
that's really, really rare. That's
very rare. Yep.
Yeah, but it's possible. I've seen that. Yeah, I agree. Also, we are. Booze is going to the desert now, and he's going to get his go mode very soon.
And I suspect Jay's routing here is going to take him through Hecarim Cave and then into the future. And then we'll just have to see if he opts to do Son of Sun right away and put himself into go mode, or if he does some other checks first. He isn't that far behind, though, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, no, it's pretty close. They got very divergent paths, but now they will be converging like really fast.
Yeah, and I think the main thing that's gonna come into play, if assuming they both get go mode, fairly quickly here and both get into the final dungeon, the main thing that's going to set them apart, based on how we've seen the 2 runners playing so far, is that I think Jay has a little bit of an edge on levels due to not skipping too many fights. However, Booze hasn't been doing a ton of skips either, so they're both kind of even in that sense. But it's gonna be close when they get into that final dungeon and see who
it is.
Who gets the better, who gets the better route through that, and better skips and things like that.
Yeah, for Black Omen, there are a lot of skips. Even for the Death Peak. Actually, for the Death Peak, you can skip every single fight in the Death Peak, and you can... Ooh, there's another shot. Doing a lot of damage.
Yep, 1,500 damage from Wonder Shot there.
Let's go. And for Death Peak, you can actually just skip every single fight, every single encounter you have in that... it's possible to climb Death Peak in a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes. There is a fight against a boss. There's the lava shell fight that, depending on your party and depending on your attacks, may take a while.
Well, I think Booz is going to kill the core here too. Yeah, he did.
Ooh, nice. As they have Chrono with Confuse and a Swallow, at least for the lava shell fight, they do have a good option, so that might not be trouble. Any kind of
Jay
trouble.
getting his ribbon for Robo, so that'll be handy. So let's see where Jay opts to go here. He is actually ducking to prehistory. Oh, he's going to do the. So he's going to go do the check in prehistory for the Reptite layer. So we know this isn't the right play, but I understand, knocking this out. But definitely with I think if I were in his shoes, I would have gone to the future because you got the pendant rather early on. So that was an option from pretty early on in the seed. And the future unlocks, I'm trying to think, 4 checks, I believe, just right from the get-go, so...
Yeah, the problem is that the Dreamstone is actually hidden behind the Moonstone quest, so that's actually bad. And to reach the Dreamstone, to get the Go Mode through Lavas, it would take them to go through Genodome, because I know the Prism Shard is at Genodome. So go to Genodome, get the Prism Shard, go do the trial, get the Moonstone, go to the pass, leave the Moonstone there, make it to the Sunstone in the future, grab the Sunstone in the future, and then unlock the Dreamstone. So that's going to be a very long path.
Looks like Booz's stream cut out for a minute for us again, but he should be back here shortly. I think he's having a little bit of problems on his side with the stream upkeep. Jay is just clearing out the Reptite layer, which we saw bits and pieces of on Booz's side back when we were having some of the other stream issues earlier. But we'll get to see it cleared out pretty thoroughly now that Jay's doing it. And the end of this layer, the boss is Nizbel, which we've already talked about, is the big Reptite that has the weakness to lightning that lowers his defense, but will eventually unleash the lightning energy as a stored attack.
Yeah, so as I can see from boozewizard has already gotten his Go Mode, so he's going to unlock the Death Peak right now. And he's going for it. That will leave him of some advantage right now because he has started his route to go through the Death Peak and then the Black Omen to reach ZO2 and finish the game.
Yep, Jay is a little bit behind now because he would have to go to the future, but that also requires him clearing the prison. So he's a full dungeon. He's a full dungeon clear behind. Granted, at this point of the game, that dungeon will be very fast, and there's not a lot of not a lot of risk in it. But that he's got to do that and make the right call to go to Son of Sun to pick up his clone. So we'll see what he opts to do.
If he decided to, I don't think he has any kind of checks left except for Giant's Claw. That would also be an option for him. So there's Giant's Claw. There's all the future checks. So I
think at this point it's going to be either Giant's Claw or Future that he has to go to once he finishes this area.
So depending, I mean, he let's see how boozewizard
it's also going to be interesting to see how challenging. It's always interesting in these seeds because you're never quite sure where you are at in terms of. I mean, you can have a pretty good idea of where you are at in terms of gear and levels, But it's always interesting when you do finally step foot into the Black Omen or into the Ocean Palace and kind of gauging just how strong your party actually is. And we'll see if like anything in the Black Omen or Death Peak here ends up being a bit of a stumbling stone for boozewizard or not. His levels seem pretty good, but you know, a lot of fights in the Black Omen can sneak up on you if you aren't careful.
Yeah, with Black Omen, even if you have, your levels are quite low. Even if you start Black Omen's level 19, like level 20, which is really low for Black Omen, if you do have a very fast Luca or Magus with Dark Matter, or Luca with Flare, or characters with very powerful AoE magical attacks, you can like outpace. They can be faster than the enemies, heal them with Flare, with Dark Matter, and just grind a couple of levels in order to be prepared for the rest of the dungeon. So as they have Luca with Flare, I do think it's going to be easier than without her.
I haven't noticed how many speed tabs that we've been getting either, so
yeah, speed tabs also help a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Luca has gotten too many invested in her yet on Booz's side, because her speed isn't anything special. So I don't know if they've picked up a lot, or a lot of times one of the factors that plays into that too with the randomizer is whether or not an enemy ends up dropping speed tabs. And a lot of times the enemies that end up doing that are the ones in like either the Black Omen or Ocean Palace. So
exactly, and
we'll
also
see if we get lucky on that.
Yeah, also we usually want to wait to see what's going to be our final party, because we don't want to invest in speed tabs or power tabs or any kind of tabs in a character that's not going to be part of the final party. So
yep,
it's kind of tricky.
I think at this point Booz is probably settled on this party though for his for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good party for Black Omen. It is.
And Jay finishing off Nizbel here. This should be a pretty quick fight with all the levels he's got on this build so far, plus Flare and Luminaire. Robo though is kind of lacking in attack abilities right now. That's the one thing about this tech layout that I've noticed is that Robo has Heal Beam, but I don't think he has even Robo Tackle or Uzi Punch, so his attacks are not the greatest. But yeah, that's okay. He can be our cleric.
Yeah. At least in Black Omen, you do have access to a lot of fights that give a lot of tech points, so they are going to catch up really quick. Robo's going to catch up with his stacks really quick.
Yep. And Jay getting his ruby knife there, but now he's going to have to figure out where his next check is. And I think he's checking his tracker, because he may have forgotten that he can go do the... he may have forgotten about the future check.
Yeah, there's Giant Claw and Future now.
Yep. Let's see which one he opts for. Looks like Future is going to be the answer. Giant's Claw would be 600 AD. Well, we know that's the right call, so we'll just have to get through the prison here. Let's see who he chooses to send to prison. Looks like Luca's going to prison.
Luca. It is a good call. I mean, I do think it's easier to go beneath the shields with Luca.
Booz is having a little bit of trouble with the slippery slope on Death Peak. I think he's fallen twice now. It's been hard to tell, but yeah, that slope can be nasty. If there's some certain ways you can do the inputs on that slope that will pretty much guarantee you won't fall, but if you mess it up, there's not a lot of window for error up there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to do another attempt here. So what's going on this peak here is you have to stay on these. There, okay, he made it that time. You have to stay on that platform, but if there's also a wind pushing you downward, and if you slip at all, and your sprite touches the bottom of the platform, you'll fall back down to the previous area.
Yeah, and depending if you are like nervous or stressed out due to the race, it can take you back if you go like if you fall down a lot of times. So it's
it's one of those things that's not hard, but it's easy to make it hard for yourself when you get really to your head. Yeah. I mean, I've fallen there, 6 times in a row before, and I've played this game I don't know how many times.
Yeah, now the battle against lava spawn, if that you want to aim for the head with single target attacks, if you do hit the spawn, they will counterattack with a very powerful AoE physical attack against all your characters, so that's going to be bad. Have to aim for the head with single target attacks, as we have a Chrono with Confuse and a Swallow. I don't think this boss is going to be an issue for them.
Yeah, Chrono's doing almost 1200 damage. 1200 damage per Confuse. Plus, Luca also has that Wonder Shot, which
exactly
can make a big difference here. I just noticed, I think Jay might have the Wonder Shot too, because I have to see his next menuing, but he just did 300 damage to that guard, and the last one he did with his regular attack, I think only did 25. So that
we can check the explosion animation.
Yeah, I didn't even...
because it's very unique for a Wonder Shot.
True. Yeah, I didn't see which one it was. I was just noticing some weird damage discrepancies.
But if you saw a very low damage roll, maybe it's he's using Wonder Shot. Yeah, by finishing his climb, Death Peak right now, Booz has started the cutscene to unlock the Black Omen. You can't actually go into the Black Omen in the future, so you have to go back to another era, 600 or 1000 AD to enter the Black Omen.
I don't think that is the Wonder Shot, yeah.
It's not? Oh.
Yeah, I think it was a crit that I saw.
Usually, as we have to leave the future to go to another era, that's the moment where we go and stock more shelters, meat tonics, eaters, everything we need before entering the Black Omen. Because it's a very long dungeon and you don't want to go out of eaters or meat tonics or any kind of consumables there.
Yep, for sure. It will definitely put a tax on your gear, or specifically your consumables, because there's a lot to go through in that dungeon. And the fights are not too bad with the levels and the text that we have, like we mentioned, but they could, like I mentioned, they can sneak up on you, and if you let them get out of the hand, they can pose a problem sometimes. All right, Jay finishing up in the prison here, about to fight the dragon tank. This should be a pretty simple fight with his level.
Yeah, depending or not he decides to go to the Son of Sun as the first check in the future, he will be able to catch up, but if he decides to go for Genodome, maybe it's going to widen the gap.
Ooh, barriers for sale here at Melchior too, which could come in handy.
That's good.
As another thing, since we're doing Black Omen path on this route, another thing that's interesting that I don't know, I haven't got a good look at what gear our runners have picked up, but if they don't have Shadow or Water Absorb armor, the final fight against Zeal 2 can be a little tricky. You generally want to have Shadow and Water Absorb for that fight,
exactly.
At least on some of your characters. I did see that Booz picked up some black vests, I believe they were, so that'll help a lot. But Halation can still be scary.
Yeah, and also Lightning. Hexagonist. The Hexagonist attack.
Yep.
And also, Lightning elemental armors will help a lot, because Lightning is one of the attacks. The Sky Gate is one of the attacks from Zeal 2, which is a Lightning base, so that also helps.
Okay, heading into Black Omen now. The first fight here in Black Omen are these turrets, which are very fast, and this is kind of a good, like, early... This kind of ends up being kind of your gatekeeper check.
Chrono may die now.
Yep. So, what I said earlier about fights sneaking up on you, this is a fight that can sneak up on you, because... Okay, he's good now, you gotta flare off, but...
Okay.
Yeah, if those turrets get ahead of you in your attack sequence before you can get a good AoE off, they can do a real number. They do a lot of damage, and they're very, very fast.
Yeah, that's why whenever we enter the Black Omen, we usually want to use like speed belts or dash rings, or even apply all our speed tabs to the character that can do a very fast AoE magic attack, so that you can be faster than the turret. So I don't think Booz has yet used his speed tabs.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I haven't seen any menuing that indicated tab usage yet. Okay, Jay is going to get a lot of gear here in the future that'll help him out. He just charged up his amulet. Not amulet, pendant, and is going to be able to get a lot of this good gear that Booz already got. And we'll have to see where he is equipping red armor. I think he's going to go for Son of Sun, which we know is the right check.
That's easy, right?
Yeah, this will catch him up a little bit.
Yeah, the difference right now, I think it's about 5 minutes, maybe 10 to 5 minutes.
5-10 minutes. I mean, basically it's Death Peak that separates them.
Yeah, Son of Sun. Yeah, Son of Sun and.
Yeah, Son of Sun's pretty quick fight. Takes about, like you said, maybe 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, it's close. It's a close race. I mean, Booz can't die now. He can't get a party wipe. And there are a lot of bosses that we fight. There's like a boss rush that we fight in Black Omen, which can be quite hard depending on your equipment and your strategy for the fight. So let's see how Booz deals with those.
Booz looks to be opting to taking a lot of these fights in the Omen too, which is going to slow him down, but it is also going to give him some assurance with the levels he's going to gain to maybe not wipe against the later bosses. So we'll see if Jay makes the same choice or if he opts to run for more fights or something like that. Knowing Jay's playstyle, I know he doesn't run very often, so we'll see if that comes into play at all.
Yeah, so for Black Omen, there are a lot of fights that you can actually run away from, and there are some fights that you can even skip. So it's a possibility to route all those skipping all those fights and running away from fights, but you'll be at a very lower level than you could possibly be for the boss rush. So it's kind of a trade-off that you have to choose. If you are running away and rushing to the boss rush, or if you are getting all the fights, like taking your time, getting your levels, checking the drops. So it's a tough call.
Yeah, the drops are another factor in the final dungeons here that could be very important. Since all the enemies' drops are shuffled, it's sometimes worth it just to... and we are seeing Tab. Yep, Tab's got dumped in on Booz's side now. But yeah, it can be useful to at least take one fight against each enemy variant, just to see if any of them happen to drop something really good, like even like speed tabs or something. Can make a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to tell. You don't know if you... I mean, how far away from your opponent you are, so... Usually in a race setting...
I just saw Luca on Jay's side do 4 9s of damage to one of the Son of Sun flames.
Oh, so he must be using Grado's weapon, which deals like half damage. So they have like 20,000 HP, I think. So that's going to be that 99999.
Yeah. Yeah, he's using Greatest, which that explains the weird damage discrepancy I saw earlier.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that huge damage won't speed this fight up at all. You have to hit the correct flame 10 times. It's the only way to finish it off.
Yeah, and we see Booz there fighting against the sidekicks. They have 500 HP, but they are very hard to hit. So usually we'll be missing a lot when attacking those guys. They do have a very good drop table, so let's see what is the drop that they have right now.
They also give you 50 tech points, which is nice. Lapises and elixirs. Wow.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's probably worth taking the fights then against these guys, at least the first few.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and Jay just finished off on a sun here.
I mean, there's that trade-off again, because you do have access to a very good shop later on in Black Omen, so maybe it would also be a possibility to just run away from this fight, like save like 30 seconds maybe. And as you do have 2 prism helms and you can sell the amulets, you can like make 50,000 gold. If the last shop there sells elixirs of or something like that.
All right, and Jay is in go mode. So just to reiterate one more time for anyone just joining us and wondering why that item put Jay in go mode, there are 2 different paths you can take in the Jets of Time randomizer to finish the game. One through the Ocean Palace in 12,000 AD. The other being going to the Black Omen, as we're seeing Booz do on the left-hand side of the screen. And access to the Black Omen is locked behind finding both the clone and the Chrono Trigger key items, which Jay just picked up the clone, and he already has the Chrono Trigger. So he's going to go into Death Peak now. And once he's finished with that, he'll be in the Black Omen right behind boozewizard. So it's a fairly close race here. Like I said, probably about 5 minutes of separation, which for this randomizer, 5 minutes is not that far apart, because if you take a party wipe, you can lose 5 minutes of time pretty easily.
Exactly, you know, I mean, will depend now if Booz nails all the fights here. There will be a lot of boss fights. Some of them are really hard. Yeah, let's see.
I think one thing Booz is trying to do here by taking all these fights too is I think he wants to unlock more techs on Robo, because I still don't think Robo has Uzi Punch yet on Booz.
Yeah. We just saw after the fight against the sidekicks, he learned Uzi Punch. So at least Robo knows Uzi Punch. Yeah,
nice. That's going to be really helpful.
That's
for some
nice.
Of the bosses.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we do have Flare on Luca. We have Uzi Punch on Robo. I don't think... Yeah, he has learned heal Beam, which is the AoE heal. So that's good. Chrono has Confuse and Luminaire.
Jay is taking a slight... Oh, go ahead.
Knows Robo Tackle, so that's actually bad for a few bosses here, but he will learn.
Jay took a slight detour to 1000 AD, and I'm not sure if he's just out of shelters and he needed to heal, or I think he's just gonna... He might just be going shopping real quick to stock up on some consumables before hitting Death Peak. And he might just be doing this now rather than doing it after Death Peak. Oh yeah, he's getting some shelters. He's got lots of money too, so some revives. And he'll probably grab some more mid tonics if he needs them too. Wonder if we'll see him go get lapises from... I wonder if he'll opt to do that, or if he's just going to go straight to Death Peak. No, he's time traveling. He's going to go, right on to Death Peak.
Yeah, Robo missing Shock. Yeah, Robo's missing Shock and Robo Tackle. Shock is really good to help with the fights against the mutants, because they are only vulnerable to magic. So, but well, at least he has Luca with Flare and Chrono with Luminaire, so that's an option.
Jay skipping the tab on the right side of Death Peak here, which is faster. So,
yeah, you can just go straight to the left in between the 2 trees there and get the tab. I don't know if it's a...
I think if you
Yeah,
go
I haven't
straight up,
timed it.
it's. I think you can time the. You can get one less
Faster?
cycle on the wind.
Oh.
I think so. I think there's a way you can run straight up and actually not even get the second cycle, but I don't know for sure. Booze's stream seems to have frozen again for us. We'll see if we can get that back for you. There we go.
Yeah, it's back now. Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will correct me on the death peak thing, but I seem to remember it being possible to. If you skip that tab,
at least what I usually do, I unlock the first 3. In between the first and the second, I go to the right, grab the tab, and just wait for the second cycle there. I don't know if you can go like during the first one, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember either if you could or can or not.
Yeah, very nice skip from Booz there. That was really fast. You can skip. There are 2 fights there that he's skipping. There is another fight that you can skip in this room, but I don't think he did. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he wants to grab some more levels and be safer for the next fights.
These chests in the Black Omen here too can have really good items.
Indeed.
So it's usually worth the detour to check them.
Yeah, all those chests in the Black Omen are the highest tier in the game, so you can have very good equipment and items from there. Like prism specs, haze helms, everything.
Yep, and Chrono's still using the Swallow, which is a pretty good sword, but it's always nice to find the rainbow if possible.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah, there's Fire Tackle that's going to be very powerful and for the lava spawn fight and also for the fight against Zeo2. Fire Tackle and a Fire Sword are single target attacks that will help a lot against Zeo2.
Oh, did he get another Prism Helm? Holy cow. I missed it.
They have like 2, right?
But I think he has 3 now because he just equipped another one on Robo.
Oh, Mega Elixirs. Oh, they have like, oh my god, they have a lot of money. So it's not a problem.
3 Mega Elixirs. That's gonna help a lot.
He can even buy more. Oh wow.
Yeah, the gear in this seed has been very, very good.
Yes, very generous. Yeah. Okay, shopping is done for boozewizard. He's going to save, shelter and save, and oh, he has 4 shelters.
And the back of Black Omen here is just there's a few more rooms with regular enemies, and then like we said, there's a few bosses coming up as well as a couple of mini bosses. This enemy here is technically a mini boss, but it should die pretty quickly.
The mini boss?
Yeah, Tubster is technically a mini boss because it's an unskippable fight, and you only fight a couple of them in the Black Omen.
Interesting. I mean, there are if I'm not mistaken, you can skip this first one, but you can't skip the next one.
I think you might be right about that. The skip for the first one is very tight, though. I think.
Yeah. You can skip. No, I mean run away. You can run away from this one. I mean, you can run away from this fight against those robots. There is a fight after you kill the first mutant. And you get the elevator. I do think you can't run away from. We'll see when Booz gets against those.
And to answer chat, asking if there is a guide for routing and such, the Discord for Jets of Time has a lot of the information like that in there, and I believe there is a guide little document built into when you download the randomizer that kind of goes over some of the basics as well. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out this randomizer, definitely join the Discord and you know, run up, either roll your own seed or grab like the weekly or something and give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. All right, Jay knocking out the fight here against Lavo Spawn. One thing to note is Jay didn't do as many checks for items, or just checks in general, as boozewizard did. So Jay's gear is not quite as strong, and you will notice he's getting hit with some of the status effects here from the Lavo Spawn, because he doesn't have all the prism helms that boozewizard did going into this fight.
Yeah, so what is Jets of Time? That's actually a very good question. And Jets of Time is an open world randomizer for Chrono Trigger that we have loot from treasure chests, enemy drops, key item locations. The order that you learn your techniques, they are all randomized. You have access to 15 total checks for key items, and there are 2 possible ways to reach go mode. One of those is by fighting Lavos, and the other one is by fighting ZO2 here in Ocean Black Omen, which is the route that both runners are going this seed.
Yep, it is a randomizer, and think of it, it's very similar in style to other randomizers you may be familiar with, just using some of the unique stuff that Chrono Trigger has to offer, such as the time traveling between eras and the epoch and stuff like that. Somewhere between your standard randomizer, something like Link to the Past or something like that. Somewhere between that and something like Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, if you're familiar with that one. Jets of Time sits kind of somewhere in the middle, because as with most things with Chrono Trigger, it is a JRPG, but it's not really a traditional one in some ways. So yeah, it's got its own unique flavor.
Yeah, and at least for me, one of the very good things about Jets of Time is that it is fast. I mean, the average seed is like 2 hours to 2 hours and 30 minutes. You can get very good seeds when you get your sub 2 runs. So it's a very fast randomizer, and it's so much fun, a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, this seed that our runners have this time around too is one of those seeds that can be very quick. Booz is in the final dungeon right now at 1 hour 45 minutes, and Jay's right on his heels. And Booz could easily probably put up a low 2 hour something time on this, assuming everything goes well with the rest of Black Omen here. Yeah,
I'd say 210 possibly.
Yeah, 210. I think.
Oh, wow!
A second wonder shot in the Black Omen for Booz there.
Oh, and a safe helm. That's a very good drop. Safe helm reduces the physical damage dealt by 1/3, so very good.
That is going to mean that Jaychalke will be able to get his wonder shot, though, assuming he doesn't skip that chest. Because he did skip the other place that the wonder shot was located in this seed, which was behind the jerky check at the.
Yeah, Booz actually missed a chest in this room. I don't know why, but there's a chest in the bottom there. After you go to the left in the very beginning.
A lot of these chests they can either blend in or you can very easily forget where they are.
Yeah, that one I know it's pretty hidden. So I agree, yeah.
And we're getting some of that Black Omen theme on now that Jay is about to enter the Black Omen with the cutscene here. So some really good music playing for us now. We'll see if Jay opts to go do some extra shopping before going in the Black Omen. He did some before Death Peak, so he might just go right in here. But he does have to remember that he has to time travel out of the future, because he can't enter the Black Omen from the future.
Yeah, meanwhile, boozewizard is starting his fight against the Giga Mutant. This is kind of a weird fight, because you do have to deal magic. Only magic is only vulnerable to magical attacks, and whenever you hit him with magic, he's going to suck out of your MP. So it can get quite tricky. He can also inflict sleep, and he can do lightning and fire damage. And as well, he has a very powerful poison AoE attack, which deals about 200 to 300 damage. So very hard.
And Jay made the mistake that I've done a few times, getting excited about the Black Omen and went into it in the future here.
Oh.
So we'll just get some extra experience off these turrets here.
I mean, it's not a bad decision. I mean, it's not a bad decision if you just want the experience points and the attack points.
Yeah. I mean, it's good XP for sure. I just wouldn't want to fight those turrets more than once. They scare me.
I do agree with you. Yeah, they scare. You can get a parry wipe there if you're not fast enough. If the turrets are faster than you. So there's the mutant gas poison. It's one of his most powerful attacks. If you have a character that is poison, he or she is going to deal less damage than usual. We see Booz using Luminaire and also Flare, which are his most powerful magical attacks. You do have to make sure that whenever you kill the top, you don't do any kind of extra damage, because then it will make the bottom go like crazy and he will not die. If you just kill the top, the bottom will die instantly, so you just have to wait.
Jay did opt to take a quick shopping trip here, but the main thing he did is he did rescue Fritz from the prison, so this gives him an opportunity here. He did opt to buy some lapises, but that gave him an opportunity to get free 10 mid-ethers there from Fritz due to rescuing him in the prison. Oh, that's interesting. The turrets stay dead if you kill them in the future. I thought if you went back in time, they were back again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought they worked, based on the timeline. So if you killed them in the past, they would destroy.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, we learn from this game every day. And I've played a bunch of Siege and I still didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew that about the bosses mentioned in chat, that all the bosses except Zeal will stay dead across the timelines. I knew that was the case. However, it does exist outside normal time as well. But the interesting thing about the Black Omen in a normal playthrough is if you defeat it in, say, 1000 AD, it will remove it from 600 AD, or excuse me, other way around. If you defeat it in 12,000 BC, it will remove it from the future timelines in that save file. But if you defeat it in the reverse order, if you start in 1000 AD and then reload your save after you beat Lavos, you can then, it'll be gone from 1000 AD, but then, or actually not even beating Lavos, sorry, excuse me. If you defeat the Black Omen, then duck out and go back to the Epoch, rather than defeating Lavos, you will then be able to go defeat it in 600 and 12,000 as well, if you so choose.
Yeah, there are very, very good drops in Black Omen. That's why usually you may opt to kill all encounters here at least once to get and check the drops. But I mean, there's also a possibility for you to just run away and skip all the encounters that you can to go fast. So there's a trade-off there.
And chat pointed out that a green dream dropped from the incognitos in the Black Omen, which is kind of funny. That's a really good item. The green dream is an accessory that, if equipped on a character and that character ends up dying in a battle, will serve as a one-time auto revive for that character. So it can be really handy.
Have we lost Booz again?
Yeah, it seems like Booz's stream froze again. Hopefully we get him back soon. To answer chat, what about the seed made the runners decide to go to Black Omen as the win condition? So the main thing about this seed that led to that was finding both the clone and the Chrono Trigger prior to finding anything. They found the red knife, which would allow them to do the final door, open the final door to get to the Ocean Palace in Zeal. However, they had no way to get to Zeal. They didn't have any path open to 12,000 BC available. So the Black Omen, once you find the clone and the Chrono Trigger and have access to the future, you could just go to the Death Peak, complete that dungeon, and then the Black Omen becomes available to you.
Yeah, the other option that they would have is to acquire the Dreamstone, but the Dreamstone in this seed was locked behind the Moonstone quest. And the Moonstone key item was locked behind the Trial quest, which was itself locked behind the Genodome. So they would have to do like a lot of extra dungeons and checks in order to get the Dreamstone to access Lavos. So that would be really slow. So, ouch. A lot of checks to go through Ocean Palace and Battle Lavas in this seed. So that's why they opted to go for Black Omen instead.
Looks like we got Booze's stream back now too, so he's just still making his way through the back end of Black Omen, and Jay is right at the front. Booze is pretty well equipped, so hopefully he doesn't take any party wipes here. This is certainly his race to lose at this point, but Zeal isn't too bad, but I don't like we mentioned earlier, the final part of Zeal 2 really wants you to have either Shadow or Water Absorb. I do remember Booze picked up some Shadow Absorb items, which should help him out. Should make it pretty doable. Water Absorb would be nice too, but I don't know if he has any, but we'll see what he ends up equipping when he gets to that point.
Yeah, Booze is going to start the fight against the Terra Mutant now. He is one of the... can get quite hard depending if you don't have enough status protection, because he does cast a chaotic zone, which will do like random status effects against your party, so it's an obstacle attack. He starts with a very powerful AoE, fire damage AoE. If you do have the possibility to use the red absorption mails, you can use to avoid getting hit from that first attack. And as the other mutants, he is only vulnerable to magic attacks. So that's why Booze will be opting to use Luminaire and Flare in this fight. I don't think Robo knows Shock. So
yeah, and healing the bottom half of this mutant really isn't too big of a deal because it's immune to elements, but much like the other mutant, if you kill the top half, the bottom half will die on its own. So it's not too bad if you just spam magic attacks for this fight.
Yeah, and exactly like the other mutants, you really don't want to do like a second attack between you managing to kill the top part, because then the bottom will start attacking you. So you do have to wait a little bit before you do the second attack.
And just to respond to someone in chat that mentioned they need to learn the logic tree, because Link to the Past randomizer is something that they're able to figure out in their sleep. This logic tree, this randomizer in terms of just logic trees is actually a fair bit simpler than like Link to the Past randomizer. So if you're new to randomizers but like Chrono Trigger, this is a very good one to pick up just as an introduction to randomizers as well, because it's not as complicated as even Link to the Past, which a lot of people are familiar with. It's a good starter randomizer as long as you're familiar with Chrono Trigger. The logic path is, I would say, simpler, but still has a lot of opportunities for twists and turns.
Yeah, and if you have any kind of question regarding the logic behind the randomizer, or how to do quests, how to understand how the randomizer works, just drop them in our Discord and we'll gladly help you out.
Okay, and Booze went ahead and equipped some of his shadow protection for the upcoming fight against Zeal 2 here.
There's still Lavos Bound 5?
Yeah, he kind of jumped the gun on that. black vests are not the best armor. I don't think that'll cause this fight to get away from him, but
yeah, maybe not. Yeah, possibly not.
And go ahead.
Go on. Now, I was going to comment about how this fight, he does have a water-based attack. Also, he regularly attacks with a reasonably powerful physical-based AoE. As the other one in Death Peak, so you can't attack the shell because the shell will counter with a physical AoE, so you must attack the head.
Yeah, this particular spawn is a lot stronger as well. It's a higher level than the other one that you fight in Death Peak, and has a lot more HP and deals a lot more damage. So you got to be especially careful not to accidentally attack the shell on this one.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we did see Booz equipping some blackmails. Actually, Lava Spawn has a shadow-based attack. So
that's true.
Yeah, so that's a little dark bomb type of attack. It's actually shadow damage, so it helps. Usually you want to go with a blue vest because of that water-based attack, or safe helms. I don't know if anyone is equipping the safe helm. Maybe they are using the prism helms.
I think he's got prism helms on all three characters. Like I said, I think I didn't see the actual pickup of the prism helm, but I saw him equip another one on Robo, and I think that I knew he had two, and I think when he equipped it on Robo, that was his third prism helm pickup, which is really nice because prism helms will help a ton. They're one of the best helms, well, arguably the best helm in the game. They have really good defense and they protect from all status effects.
Yeah, but at least for the final battle against ZO2, he can swap out those prism helms, and maybe if he has like rainbow helms or mermaid caps, they are actually going to be quite useful to the final fight against ZO2 because they will be able to absorb or reduce the elemental attacks from ZO2. Yeah, Booz now going to make his way up to the final save point before the final boss rush. Yeah, everyone has a prism helm.
Yep, so that was 3 prism helms.
Wow.
Yeah, the gear on this seed has just been insane. All right, we're going to see some final...
And a full set of dark shadow absorbing armors. That's awesome.
Yeah, this shouldn't be too big of a problem then. The only thing really scary, I guess, it would be then Hexagon Mist. But I think he's got enough HP that it won't be a major problem.
I've seen Hexagon Mist doing 700 plus damage to Robo.
Oh boy. Well, we will see. He's in a good spot HP wise, but we will see how this goes. So this initial fight against Zeal,
he's going to nail this fight. Yeah, I think he's going to nail this fight.
This initial fight against Zeal is designed to make it to appear really scary. She will always open the fight with Halation, which drops your party's HP to 1. But after that, she kind of just sits on her ATB for a long time and doesn't counterattack. So as long as you can knock out a few quick attacks with a lot of power here, she'll never get a chance to attack again. And you don't even need. And even if she does, as you can see, sometimes she just chooses to Halation again, which will do nothing.
Yeah, very rarely she will use an attack that actually does damage. So you don't have to worry too much about healing. There is a strategy here that you can use and enter the menu. There is a menu glitch that you can enter right now in between ZO1 and the memo machine that you can enter the menu and go and heal. Unfortunately for Booz, he didn't got the menu glitch, so he'll have to waste a turn here to use a Mega Elixir. He has 4, so it's not a big deal. For the memo machine, go on.
I was just going to say, the Mammon Machine itself isn't even too dangerous. As long as you can knock out a bunch of... I think it only has, what, like... 5,000? Yeah. So, it's... I've even seen people go in and just not even bother to heal against this fight because it's not too threatening as long as you can, and he's doing almost 2,000 damage a hit with his luminaires and flares. So this fight will be over very quickly.
Yeah, the only problem is if you go to the next fight, which is against ZO2, if you go to the next fight with like 1 health, then that's a problem.
That is scary.
Because she can get really fast and put everyone down. Yeah, that fight against the Mammon Machine is...
Can you menu glitch between Mammon Machine and Zeal 2? I don't remember.
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, It would be awesome, but we can't. The menu glitch is between Zeal 1 and the Mammon Machine, so that's the... Okay, the fight against Zeal.
And so, normally this would be the sort of penultimate boss fight for Chrono Trigger, if you're familiar with the vanilla game. In Jets of Time with the flags that we're using, however, this is actually the final boss fight for this route. It's done that way in order to kind of equalize the 2 different routes, because Ocean Palace is much shorter than Black Omen. So in Ocean Palace, you go through the 3 phases of Lavos at the end, but in Black Omen, you have a much longer dungeon, but as a result, to even things out, you only have to fight Zeal 2 at the end, and do not have to fight Lavos after this.
Yeah, so Zeal 2, you have to aim for the head. The arms will counter-attack if you use an AoE here, an AoE-based attack, the arms will go and suck out of your MP and HP, so you have like 1 HP and 0 MP if you use an AoE. So you must use single target-based attacks. That's Chrono with Confuse, maybe Fire Tackle from Luca and Robo. Normal attacks with Luca, as she has the Wonder Shot, which will do a lot of damage. ZO2 will also use Skygate Lightning, which is her lightning-based attack. If you take too long to do 10,000 damage to the head, she will start with a very powerful AoE shadow attack, which is this one, Dark Gear Shadow. And in the next turn, if Booz is not fast enough, she will cast Hexagon Mist, which is a very powerful water-based AoE attack. So that's her most powerful attack.
Oh, and Halation here, but he's got Mega Elixirs, so this isn't too bad. So Halation wasn't scary against the first form of Zeal. Halation is scary against Zeal 2 because she's very fast, and it's very easy to get comboed from Halation into, like we talked about, either Hexagon Mist or the lasers if you don't have shadow protection, or the Skygate lightning attack. Any number of those, when you're at 1 HP, they will all kill you if you don't have the right absorbed armor. So
yeah, and it was very good for Booz because he was fast enough and he could put ZO2 to her second phase, which is after you deal 10,000 damage, and she'll actually not cast the Hexagon Mist. She will just use the Halation, and then it will take a long time until she goes and tries to use Hexagon Mist again.
Right. And did have a question in chat. Would there ever be a race where you'd see one runner take Ocean Palace and the other take Black Omen? And yes, that actually can happen pretty easily. This particular seed, it wasn't very likely, just due to the way the items were distributed. But yeah, it is. It can very well happen where the runners end up on different routes, just by the way that they do their checks, and end up finding the 2 different go modes and taking 2 different routes. And that's the main reason why the routes have why this route, particularly with the Black Omen, ends at Zeal 2, because if it didn't, this route would be significantly longer than the Ocean Palace route, because the Ocean Palace is a much shorter dungeon than Black Omen and has the 3 bosses at the end with Lavos Shell, Inner Lavos, and then the Lavos Core. Whereas this, if we didn't end the fight at Zeal 2, and that is GG for
GG for Booz. Congratulations, boozewizard. he has won the race with the time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 5 seconds. Congratulations, Booz.
Yeah, that's a very solid time. This was a Yeah, it's a very fast seed, but you know, that was a very good time.
Very good time, very good fight against Zio. I mean, awesome played. Congratulations, no party wipes. Very, very good. Congratulations, boozewizard.
And Jay is right on his heels here. Let me mark Booz as done. And we'll see if Booz wants to join us for interview or anything like that. Jay is right on his heels, going to do his shopping here in the Black Omen, maybe pick up a few of these mega elixirs. He does not have the money for them. So that's the downside of buying those lapises earlier. But he could probably sell some stuff to afford a couple.
That's why usually I do like to wait till I get my final shop in order to choose where I'm going to spend my money on, because usually you never have enough money to buy everything you want from this guy.
And looks like we are joined by boozewizard. GG, boozewizard. Well done.
GG.
I needed that.
Yeah.
Redemption run.
Congratulations. Yeah, comment about the seed.
I don't know. It kind of gave me the runaround a bit, I feel like.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I don't know if you've tuned into the run at all or to the race at all now that you're finished, but you ended up doing a few more checks than Jay did at one point of the race, and you know, you had the Chrono Trigger, or sorry, not the Chrono Trigger. You had the clone, I think, early because you did Son of Sun. But Jaychalke actually found the Chrono Trigger prior to you finding it, but he hadn't gone to the future yet. So if he had gone to the future, then he'd probably be at least like another 3-4 minutes up on this, and you know, it would be even tighter. You know, even tighter on that. He's in the Black Omen fighting the first Tubster right now, but yeah, he ended up doing some of the other checks that you did, like in prehistory and stuff. But you guys ended up with very similar item checks. The only thing you did extra, I think, was the tools.
Ares Dome. Yeah, Ares Dome and Hero Metal check.
Okay.
Oh, and the Hero Metal. Yep. So
I mean, Ares, I tend to do anyway because of the sealed door.
Yeah, and you found Prism Helms in there, I think, if I remember correctly.
Prism Helm. I think that's where I found my Wonder Shot.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. No, your Wonder Shot was at the Jerky check.
Jerky, it got one in the Jerky and one in the Black Omen.
And one in Black Omen. Yeah, you ended up with 2 of them.
I always shake
also,
my head at that,
the other path to go mode was like hidden behind the Moonstone. So the Dreamstone was behind Melchior. And Melchior was behind the trial itself, and you'd have to go to Genodome to get the trial. So
that's another one where that was locked behind doing Dino, like Sundays.
Yeah, the Prism side was locked behind Genodome.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so that red knife early on was a bit of a red herring. If you tried to follow that path in the seed, you'd definitely be in it for a while.
Yeah, you'd have to climb the Daxoness, get Mar, do Genodome, do the trial quest, get the Moonstone, etc. So.
You never got Marl either, did you?
Nope. Where was she?
She was at the top of Dactyl Nest. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I won't do that. I won't do that unless I absolutely need her, or Robo or Frog, because it's such a slow check to get up there, even with the skips.
Yeah, it requires about 2 to 3 minutes, and usually, if it doesn't pay off for a key item, I mean, due to the character that you get from it, yeah.
Right. Again, I want to apologize about my stream quality tonight. Been having some real bad issues with it. pretty much any time from late afternoon to this point. But yeah, I mean, it was a weird seed. Looks like Jay forfeit.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and invite him in here in a moment.
Right.
And I mean, about your party decision, you didn't thought about like checking other areas for new characters. I think you didn't even check the
No, I didn't.
Rotodome?
I did not. I was happy with these three.
And we're joined by Jaychalke now too.
Hello.
Hi, Jay, how are you?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I only had. Wow, that would have been like a monster PB for me. I didn't know that I was that close. I forgot how much there was left for the Black Omen. So I just didn't want to. I thought there was still another like hour or so left. So I was just,
oh no, you were probably about 10 minutes out. You had like two more big. You had the
15 minutes, about 15 to.
Wow, cool. So man, I would have done super well.
Yeah, no, that was it was a really good time by both of you. Like you guys were both on really good pace. And Jay, we mentioned it to Booze earlier, but so it was interesting. Booze had the clone for quite a long time because he went and did Future and Son of Sun pretty early, but he did some extra checks in the Future. And in that time, you were clearing out the desert and got the Chrono Trigger. So. If you had opted to go to the Future right after that and done the like it skipped Hecarim, skipped the Reptite Lair, all that, you may have actually been in the lead at that point, right? Because it was very close. If you had gone right to the Son of Sun, so
right. I had thought that when I was like where I was and I didn't see a dot done, that maybe that my staying in the present mid area, I was thinking that with that gate key, Booze would have went directly into the Future or wherever. And I thought, I'm going to stay here and just kind of vibe. And then I found the Chrono Trigger or whatever I found. I don't remember, one of the two pieces. And then when I went into the Future and I just like rushed Sun, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's the other piece. And so then I just went in. I was hoping that Booze had started clearing out all of Future looking for. And I also had the red thingy-majig. I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
The Ruby Knife?
That one. Yeah, that one. I forgot. I was like, oh, right. I looked at my notes. I was like, oh, heck, I need the Dreamstone for that. So then I was like, okay, I need to find the Dreamstone or I need to find the trigger thing. Yeah, I was just trying to remember what was go mode, but I felt really good. I definitely was in Black Omen faster than I'd ever been before.
Yeah, congratulations for that. Yeah, it was really fast paced.
Thank you. Yeah,
it was a really close race, all in all. So it was really fun to watch.
That's super. Oh man, there was one time I got super scared when I got to the Black Omen and I forgot that those initial dudes were there and that if they kill each other, they'll do that like huge AOE. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna totally wipe here and I haven't saved. I got super lucky with Chrono's Electric 2.
Yeah, I commented on that too. Yeah. Because it was like, and to make matters worse, that fight's required either way, but you don't, if you go to it in the Future there, you can't even enter the Black Omen right away. So
I was so scared. I was like shaking because when they started to do their attacking each other, I was like, oh, I forgot this was a thing. I'm totally fighting. Basically, Chrono came in clutch and took out all of them. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I forgot about the dudes. The little circle dudes where the little dudes spawn beside them. I thought you had to kill the little dudes first.
The sidekicks, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you had to kill the sidekicks, and then I was like, oh my heck, it's the other way around. You gotta kill the big boy, and then who cares about the sidekicks? And then I was like, I remember wiping here once before. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wipe again.
Yeah, because if you don't kill the center, if you're gonna don't kill the big guy, he will cast a very powerful fire attack. So
yes.
Oh yeah, that thing's brutal.
Yeah, I was worried about that. A lot of the things I was remembering, because that was only my like 7th time in the Black Omen ever. So I was like trying to remember everything. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations again. I mean, it was really fast with all things considered.
Yeah, sure.
Your pace was really fast. So.
Well, I know I was playing
where I spent the most time. I was there was one spot where I just felt like I was just like way underdeveloped, under gear, under leveled, and I was like, it was taking forever. I don't
the desert?
Yeah, that might be it actually. Yes, yeah, because I kept having to go in and out.
Yeah.
Smacked. I didn't have any good AoEs. I usually like to have ice 2 or like flare.
Yeah.
Or not flare, fire 2 or something that doesn't cost like all of my mana or whatever you call it in this game, and just was just like absolutely torching all my mana, and so I had to leave and come back. So that took a long time. So wow, I was actually
and Booz decided to go without any kind of water magic.
Yeah. I gave Chrono my gold stud for what's his face for Ret.
Confused?
And then
Red Knight. Yeah.
And then just had Luca wonder shotting. And
so Jay, that is one thing I was going to mention. So you picked up the jerky at one point from, I think it was Denadoro Mountains. The jerky turn-in, if you go to the if you go to the that southern town and go to the mayor's house in 600 AD, give them the jerky and then turn it in and then go back in 1000. The turn in there is always a really high tier item, and this one ended up being the Wonder Shot, which is an amazing weapon for Luca. So that was the only other thing that you didn't do, but you know, it's not that big a deal. But you know, Wonder Shot helps. You know, does help a lot with Luca sometimes. Yes.
It does damage based on the in-game clock, and if you're at the right number, she'll do more than a Rainbow Chrono will do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a 5 times hit if you get the right RNG. Yeah, go ahead.
Is the Black Omen the path where you want water protection, or is that something else?
Water or Shadow are both good, because at the end you got to fight Zeal 2.
To be completely honest, I think in the end it would have just been an embarrassing wipe fest, so I'm kind of glad that it ended this way.
I think there may have been Shadow Protection for sale in the final shop. I can't remember though.
Okay.
There's Shadow Protection available at Melchior.
Oh, at Melchior? Okay.
I didn't have any blue mail. I didn't have any. I think I may have a dark, but like I know I knew once I found the guy that sold the stuff, and I saw Mega Elixirs, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, this might be the time where I need to start worrying about that. And then I realized I didn't have any of that. And I was like, yeah, there's no way. And I was looking at the Discord. I was like, I can't believe that no one has .done yet. And then something .done. Booz .done at the moment I said that.
You may have been fine too, because your levels were very good for where you were. Both of you had a lot of there wasn't a lot of like under leveling going into the final dungeon in this seed, so you guys and there were some more good gear for you later on in the Black Omen too, Jay. There was another Wonder Shot you could have found in there too, which would have helped.
Sick.
Yep.
Yeah, that really helped me on Zeal.
Yeah, because you can do if you do like 10k damage, you don't have to worry about the water AoE. But you have to do that fast, so you could have done with Wonder Shot and all.
I mean, she did more 800 hits than the good hits, but it was still good enough with the confuses and Uzi punches going off.
Yep,
I'm
for
really
sure.
surprised I only got halation once during that.
Yeah, she was being a little generous with the halations, but that's always good.
Yeah, it was a really good ZO2 fight.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any? I don't know if we have any. I think you guys were the first of the loser brackets to play, so I don't think we know who you'll be facing going forward here, Booz. But congratulations on advancing.
Dr. Cossack next.
Oh, you do already know. Okay, yeah. Oh, right, because you guys were in that weird like sub bracket. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll have that to look forward here, and then we also got more races coming up with the bracket, which do we have a link to that we want to put in chat if anyone wants to look at the bracket? I don't have it handy.
Don't
See if we can find it here. I had it a minute ago and then I closed that tab.
Oops.
See if I can find it again. Oh
yeah, there's the link. There's the link.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to say
The bracket.
thank you both so much for commentating. Big shout outs. I was happy to see Artemis and Moon on the comms. It's awesome. Thank you, Booze.
Yeah, thanks.
For flexibility with the scheduling. Thank you, chat, for being awesome. And thank you, Speed Gaming, for the restream. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to be in the next Chrono Trigger Randomizer tournament. Maybe I'll be a bit more prepared and know a lot more than I do now. And
thank you, Jay, for getting me to play better.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I really enjoyed helping and commentating this run. Congratulations again, boozewizard, for the win. GG's, Jay.
Yep, GG's everyone. It was a lot of fun. I think that wraps it up then. If anyone else has some closing statements, we can take those, but I think we're basically good to go.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you guys for hosting today.
Not a problem. It was fun. And thanks again to Speed Gaming, too, for having us.
All right. Later, everyone.
Yeah, later. Bye-bye.